Hey guys, this is Elderscroll and welcome to another build video. Today I'm going to go over my solo stamina Necromancer Brawler build. This has two two-handed weapons, it's very tanky, and you can even theoretically solo trials with it if it doesn't require mechanics that make it so you can't solo it. This build doesn't require any trial gear, so it's not too difficult to obtain, and you can also parse between 70 and 80,000 DPS with this build. But where it mostly shines is in area of effect and burst damage, so you can have really high burst damage and deal a bunch of damage in the area. So without further ado, I'm going to get in the build. So I am using the Thief Mundus Stone, and I have 48 points in stamina and 16 points in health. I am using tri-stat foods, and you can have these craftable or crown tri-stat food, as well as tri-stat potions. And then I'm using the Pillar of Norn Greatsword with Weapon Spell Damage Enchant and Infused. This set does huge AoE and burst damage. And then the Master's Perfected Battle Axe. Here you want the Weapon Damage Enchant with Norn Honed. And if you want to know where to find these sets, I do say the gear locations in the description of this video, so make sure that you check that out if you're not sure where to get this stuff. And this will deal a bunch of AoE damage on the back bar. I have two monster set options, but I'll get to the second option later. But the first option is Zaan with Divines and Max Stamina Enchant. And then I'm using the Brier Heart set, and then the Zaan Shoulder. You don't want everything to be Divines with Max Stamina Enchant if you can afford to do that. And this Brier Heart set offers a bunch of healing and weapon spell damage. And then the Pillar of Norn Jewelry. So the second option is if you replace one of your Pillar of Norn rings with the Ring of the Pale Order. This will make you much tankier and give you much more healing. But most of the time you won't even need this unless you're doing really hard solo content. And then if you do that, then you need the Pillar of Norn Shoulder and you can use the Bloodspawn helmet. But like I said, you'll only need to use the Ring of the Pale Order in really difficult situations, and generally you'll be able to get by with just using Zaan. And make sure that you're not wearing the Ring of Pale Order if you're in a dungeon or in a group, because then you won't be able to receive heals from the group. And now in the skills, on my back bar, I'm using the Pestilent Colossus as my ultimate. I have Summoner's Armor, Forward Momentum, Carve, and this skill is what's procced by the Master's Battle Axe. Then I have Unnerving Boneyard. This will decrease the resistance of enemies. Then I have Skeletal Archer. And then on the front bar, I have the Pestilent Colossus again. Resistant Flesh. Dead in Pain. And this will make you tanky as well as give you a bunch of ultimate back, so this is a really good utility skill. I have Detonating Siphon. Blight Blasty Bones. And Venom Skull is the spammable. You can also use the Scythe as your spammable, which will give you more healing, but you'll deal significantly less single target damage. And in the champion points, I'm using Fighting Finesse, Exploiter, Master at Arms, Reaving Blows, and in the red, I'm using Celerity, Survival Instincts, Bloody Renewal, Sustained by Suffering, and in the green, I'm using Treasure Hunter, Rationeer, Liquid Efficiency, and Steed's Blessing. And now I'll go over the rotation, which is fairly simple, but it can be a little difficult to master. So first, you're going to want to do Momentum, and then your Skeleton. And you're going to make sure that these are always running. Then you do your Skeletal Archer, your Blastabones, then you use the Graveyard. You want to get Carved 3 times, and then you just keep spamming the Blastabones and the Venom Skulls. If you do use this build and you post a clip on YouTube, make sure you tag me and I'll leave a like and subscribe to you. And if this video was helpful for you, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.